amazing run. Nice. Oh, my brain!
Goodness me.
Oh, are you serious?
The body just takes some serious beatings from skateboarding. I can't think of anything else that people do athletically that can compare to what street skateboarders do. You're basically jumping off rooftops and slamming your body into concrete. Some of these things, you could actually die doing them. They say the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And I say that's skateboarding. You're just slamming, and eventually that miracle does happen. And all of a sudden you're rolling away and you're like, I did it.
Real Street is all about skaters going out there in the streets and getting a 1 minute great filmed and edited video part.
Definitely have a diverse crew this year, going from veterans to having a female in the contest. It'll be really cool to see the diversity in all the parts.
We've got two-time Thrasher Skater of the Year, Chris Cole. For many years, he was basically setting the pace on street skating.
You're always expecting the top tier of skating when Chris Cole puts a video part out.
Trevor Colden, he was one of the best amateurs, turned into one of the best pros. He's gone slightly underground in the last few years. Really excited to see what he's got here in Real Street.
Ryan Lay has been a Phoenix Ripper for many years. He's a very unique skater.
It's gonna be cool to see him next to some of the more traditional shredders.
Bobby Worrest is a classic East Coast skater where he skates a lot of ledges, a lot of flip tricks, a lot of flat ground. I love pretty much everything he puts out, so I'm excited to see what he's got.
Samarria Brevard, she's one of my favorites. She's the first woman to do Real Street. I know she's gotta have something up her sleeve for sure.
Every time I see video footage of Samarria, she's progressing and getting better and better, so I can only imagine what this part holds and then what she's gonna do beyond it.
Joslin, that dude is nuts. He was born to fly, and he's probably the most prolific board flipper in skateboarding right now.
He's been in the contest for the past few years and won a gold medal 2 years ago and a bronze last year, so he knows what it takes to put in a high-quality video part.
Cole Wilson, defending champ. This guy is one of the most reckless handrail skaters I've ever seen.
This guy is so gnarly and does some of the biggest things we've seen in Real Street, so we'll see if he can do that again.
As a judge, I just want to see something that makes me fired up to go skate. I want to see new tricks. It's nice if there's big bangers. I want to get excited. I want to feel like this person is really giving it their all.
What I'm looking for is great skating and good filming and good editing and a good song and just a good overall package.
It would be really cool to see a bunch of never been done tricks. We call those MBDs in skateboarding.
There's 3 judges for this video contest and we all don't see eye to eye, but the thing we're bringing to it is a point system. We're not just trying to agree on one winner. We have to just add up our points and see who won.
Chris Cole can do whatever he wants on a skateboard. That's just kind of what it is. I've seen him do things like that I just didn't even, think was possible.
My name is Chris Cole. I'm from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. It was the early 90s when I started skating, so there weren't skate parks around, and you would make do with whatever you had. The thing about skateboarding in a blue-collar area where nobody skates is no one skates. and then you're very socially outcast because you're the skater. I didn't really fit the mold that much and didn't want to. In a lot of ways, skateboarding gave me an identity. It gave me an outlet for my musical taste. It gave me an outlet for creativity. It gave me an outlet for my energy. It gave me an outlet to get to the goals that I wanted. And with skateboarding, it was a new goal every day. It was like these microscopic little achievable things. Skateboarding meant the world to me because without those little tiny wins or losses, I was a ball of emotion that was firing in every which way. With those wins and losses on a skateboard, I had a channel. It's funny, as much as I've done these tricks, and for somebody who seems like they've just rifled through the tricks over and over and over so that they could be the best at it, I just had fun doing them. It was like I wanted to know that I did it for 3 reasons. 1, I wanted to have fun trying that trick. 2, I didn't want the trick to beat me. And I didn't want the spot to beat me. Those were the things. It was really competitive and weird, but I still hold that now and kind of built a career upon beating myself beyond any reason for a trick because I don't want it to beat me. I don't want it to win.
Chris Colden can do whatever he wants on a skateboard. That's just kind of what it is. I mean, I've seen him do things like that I just didn't even, think was possible.
If a trick is somewhere near you, the law of probability, eventually you'll land feet first on top of it. And that's how I kind of think about it. Like eventually I'm gonna fall feet first on top of this board.
He is no stranger to doing some of the heaviest tricks in skateboarding. Chris Cole's previous video parts will be watched for the rest of skateboarding.
2001 to 2011, all we had to do was point the camera at him and he was just killing it.
When I'd film these video parts, I wanted to give my best to make the video part the best it could possibly be. It's so essential in the entire process of skateboarding to film with somebody that you feel comfortable with, who sees things the way that you see them. My teammate, my partner, my filmer for Real Street is Chris Ray. I love working with him. I've traveled with him a lot. His energy is real. When he gets a trick, he's just as excited as the skater. Like, he loves it, and that matters.
Chris Cole's done, so much in skateboarding. I grew up idolizing the videos that he was in. I never thought I'd ever get to film him or work on his video parts or anything like that. So it's still mind-blowing to me when he calls me.
I really don't have anything to prove. Real Street is just another outlet to put out a video part, to stoke people up, and to show people that I'm a lifer. So putting out a video part is just kind of just par for course. I'm Chris Cole, and this is my X Games Real Street part.
Like a shadow,
Cole's part was classic Chris Cole. Opens up with an insane front blunt slide down the big hubba.
Chris Cole, solid, magic feet, sweet ledge combos. This was excellent, but was it his most excellent part? I don't know. It's not fair, but Chris Cole is one of the greatest skaters of all time. His biggest competition is himself.
He really did blow me away. The one thing that's all over that video part is a high-tech caliber. And the last trick, I mean, I have to even think about how that would happen. Backside 180 switch feeble to 180 out. So it was a really great video part.
It wasn't like I thought it was hard, it was just, I gotta get mine. I gotta figure out a way that I can just skate every single day. That was the only thing that I could hope for.
X Games returns to its new summer home in one of the greatest stadiums in North America. X Games Minneapolis, July 19th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at xgames.com/tickets.
Skateboarding was the only thing I wanted to do. I would be at school and I couldn't even pay attention. You know, all I wanted to do was just leave as soon as possible and just get to the skate park. That was it. I just wanted to skate all day, every day. My name is Trevor Colden and I am from Virginia Beach, Virginia. My family could do what they could, but that's all I knew, so it wasn't like I thought it was hard, it was just, I gotta get mine. I gotta figure out a way that I can just skate every single day. That was the only thing that I could hope for. I moved to California when I was 16. I was supposed to only be out for about 2 weeks. Just ended up staying to try and pursue anything with skating. To tell you the truth, I probably couldn't get home if I wanted to.
I can 100% relate to that life and what he came from because that's exactly what I had to do. And you don't know what's out there. You know, you're like, all right, I'm gone, you know, and I'm going to California. I don't know anybody. I don't have any money, but I feel like I can make this happen and I can do it.
From the moment I saw him, he was like, wow, that kid's got it. He's not only really good at skateboarding, but he looks amazing on a skateboard.
He's only 3 years older than me, but growing up, I mean, he was, I think, me and a lot of my friends, like one of their favorite skaters.
In 2014, I turned pro. It changed my life completely. That was my whole dream. All I wanted to do was become a professional skateboarder. My life is completely different now. Being able to provide for my family, it's a blessing, 100%. While I've been filming for Real Street, I had a pretty bad injury with my dirt bike. Bike fell on top of me, stabbed the side of my knee, and I broke my toe and my ankle is fractured. Been out almost 3 months, and then I've been skating for the last 2.5 months, just trying to get everything better.
I know it's difficult for him to get back into it, but he's been killing it, and we've been thinking outside the box to find some spots that, you know, fit him well right now at his level, and he's been, you know, being creative, which is a different side of him, which has been really cool to witness.
It's the process, you know? Like just going through a gnarly injury like that and then trying to come back and film a part in a couple months, difficult, but we're making it happen. I'm Trevor Colden, and this is my X Games Real Street part.
Trevor, in this video part, reminded us how good he is at a number of tricks. Nollie back heels, burial heels, switch flip.
You know what I really liked about Trevor Colden was that line at the LA Library. He ollies this big flat gap skinny wall, and then he does a 360 off the end. That was great. It just looks like he's hauling ass around downtown LA.
You definitely expect a lot out of Trevor Colden because he's known for being able to handle some super gnarly tricks with finesse and power and style. I like his video part, but maybe it just didn't leave me with like a wow moment, which I wanted to see from him.
Trevor's part was fantastic. It did have some bangers, but it wasn't as hammer heavy. It was a little bit cruisier. It was rad though. I really liked it.
My name is Bobby Worrest, and I live in Washington, D.C. Skateboarding to me is freedom, really. It's just you and your board and your homies, and you do whatever you want. You go wherever you want. Pulaski Park is also known as Freedom Plaza. It's downtown DC, a couple blocks away from the White House. It's just been kind of like the center point of Washington, DC skateboarding forever, pretty much.
Before the skate park, there was the plaza, you know, because in the 90s, that was like the death of skateboarding. All the skate parks shut down, and there was nothing for skaters to turn to but these plazas, and that was the birth of street skateboarding.
I think different times in skateboarding, there was like a plaza that was like monumental in that time or monumental in that city. And when you think of, DC, you think of Pulaski. It's like the spot where all the best skateboarders went to skate.
That's the place. If you're gonna go to DC, you wanna go to Pulaski Park and skate.
When I was approached for Real Street, I thought it'd be a cool concept to try to film almost like what seems like one continuous line at my favorite spot, Pulaski,
I think it'd be kind of hard to go back to a plaza that's a lot of stuff's been done and film apart, because you're competing with, decades of footage.
A lot has been done there, but there's obviously still more tricks, and people can keep raising the bar.
I mean, I think if somebody could do it, Bobby Worrest could do it.
It's Bobby's world, man. We're just living in it. He has style, he oozes style. A lot of his footage is lines, like long, put together, well thought out lines, which is so difficult to do.
Originally, I wanted it to be one full line throughout the plaza with no stopping. I think the main two issues were having to avoid police and pedestrian traffic. It's got a lot of people walking all sorts of ways, and it made it difficult.
I think that's amazing that, after all this time, he can still go back to this same exact location and prove that skateboarding is progressing and show that these places still serve a meaningful purpose, and they have history, and they have continued history and a future.
I'm Bobby Worrest, and this is my X Games Real Street part.
Bobby Worrest is coming into a video contest against Joslin, Chris Cole, and he comes with just a straight Pulaski video part. Nothing but flat ground and ledge tricks. It might not be the winning video part, but I loved it.
This is a day out skating with Bobby. If you want to skate real East Coast granite with a legend, this video part brought you there.
What I liked as a judge is he thought about a different idea to do a video part, and that was really cool.
With Bobby, it's just apples and oranges, like he's skating exactly how he wants to skate. Beautiful, means a lot to a lot of people. But then you got Joslin and Cole Wilson. It's super fun to watch. but he's probably not gonna win.
Women's skateboarding is going to just continue to keep growing and growing and growing. I think girls like Samarria are pushing it to the youth, saying, hey, we all can do it.
I always felt like I could do something like this, but for it to actually happen was just like, that's the best way I could put it. My name is Samarria Brevard, and I'm from Riverside, California. I've lived in Riverside my whole life, born and raised. How I got into skateboarding, just playing basketball outside. My brother and my friend, they were both skating already. I was like, let me try it, you know? So I went over to them, got on the board, and then hooked me right in. I was definitely trying to keep up with like all of them. I was just trying to stay where they were at. Growing up, there was times where I wanted to get sponsored, and then there was times where I was like discouraged, thinking that it couldn't really happen for me. And then finally I got sponsored by Enjoy. Then that's when my life kind of just did this 180. All right, now I'm really traveling, like going to all types of places. It's really like kind of dream come true. For me, it's been really rad that I've been able to get, you know, my name on a pro board by a super legitimate company.
To get your board, it's the biggest deal for a skateboarder, you know. We all know it. She's solidified in skateboarding forever. Women's skateboarding is going to just continue to keep growing and growing and growing. I think girls like Samarria are pushing it to the youth, saying, hey, we all can do it. This is everybody's, you know.
People are definitely paying attention right now. It's pretty rad. Definitely getting good support. It's been awesome.
Skateboarding is there for everybody. It's there to be enjoyed by the world, male, female, and you just see these girls just ripping out there.
She skates at a high caliber for any gender. She skates at a high caliber, period.
It's so cool that Samarria is in this X Games Real Street contest and competing with the guys.
She's not being viewed as like, oh, this is the girl side of X Games. She's up against dudes.
All I really want to focus on these next few years is just filming. So it was just like, Real Street, heck yeah, let's make something happen. My filmer is Monique O'Toole. I like filming with her because the hype is so real.
Samarria Brevard is one of my favorite people in this whole world. She's like a sister to me. We already had been filming together for a couple years, so it was just natural, like to keep going.
I always felt like I could do something like this, but for it to actually happen was just like, that's the best way I could put it. I hope my place in skateboarding is just an inspirer. I hope I'm inspiring people to get up and at least try, you know? And it doesn't even have to be like skateboarding, just get up and try something. I'm Samarria Brevard, and this is my X Games Real Street part.
Samarria.
Samarria's part blew me away. Seeing a girl rip that hard is such an awesome thing to see. You know, that tray flip was amazing.
You just can tell that she's really testing herself. She's really pushing herself, and that's important.
She did awesome. She tail slid a handrail She 50-50'd a flat bar and dropped to a 50 on a ledge. And when she rolled away, she like fell down laughing. You can see her having fun. Sometimes the vibe of a video part could beat out tricks in another video part.
It's gonna come down to tricks, it's gonna come down to progression, it's gonna come down to getting gnarly. But yeah, Samarria, excellent.
My name is Ryan Lay. I'm from Tempe, Arizona. So I started skating around 4th grade and, just skated with my brother and his friends, and we just skated around the neighborhood. Never really thought about getting sponsored. But then, yeah, a few years into it, you kind of get immersed in the culture. You're trying to figure out what the world of skateboarding looks like. I don't know if I was like on a path to be pro, but I wanted to film video parts, and I wanted to do something with skateboarding. And then I think like around 11th or 12th grade, I just kind of got burnt out. I just kind of wanted to do something different, so I made the decision to go to school in San Francisco. I didn't really know if skateboarding seemed like a safe bet. The first year I lived in San Francisco, I didn't really skate at all, and I really just kind of needed that break. And then I got into it like really naturally with some friends out there again. We would just go out skating till like 4 in the morning every night. And then I was like, I want to move back to Tempe and just like pursue skating and see if I can make something happen. When you're trying to build a career in skateboarding, it's all self-centered. I just was like, man, I want to do something where we give back. Skate After School is a nonprofit that I run with my friends Tim and Bobby. Rudimentary, what it does for the kids is gives them a safe place to hang out after school. We're in 7 schools. We work with 230 kids a week.
I mean, skateboarding is an amazing tool because the sky's the limit. You can just learn and progress at your own speed, your own rate, and it's so fulfilling. When you try a trick over and over and over and over, you're trying to learn it, and then you finally get it. Like, there's really not much that can be compared to it.
Some of the kids come from some unimaginably tough backgrounds, and like getting to see that firsthand and like know the value that our program has provided those kids has been, it's pretty amazing. Real Street is a really rad opportunity for non-contest skaters, myself included, to kind of get involved in a street-style competition that doesn't involve, the formal attributes of a contest. You kind of have your own freedom to produce your own thing and make a video part. You get to choose the music. You get to film it in the way you want.
I think Ryan's gonna have one of like the more creative parts and be more fun.
Ryan's just out of the box, in my opinion. He's on a wide board, it looks like a boat, but he's doing all these technical tricks with a lot of creativity mixed in.
My partner for Real Street is Matt Blevins. He's just a good friend of mine. I got a lot of faith in him. He's got a good eye.
I feel like Ryan's goal as a pro skateboarder is probably just to make people want to go out and skate. I think the best way to do that is to have good style and do tricks that make people want to go out and try. And I feel like he definitely has really good style, and he's one of those skaters.
I just want to make something that is representative of my personality and my skating, and might not be the gnarliest part, but I just want to make something cool at the end of the day. My name's Ryan Lay, and this is my X Games Real Street part.
This Ryan Lay part was fantastic. I really enjoyed that nollie frontside wall ride on the box truck. He had that deck park action. That spot is crusty, and he brought a new trick with the switch blunt slide to fakie.
Ryan Lay's artistic approach to it really made the whole thing stand out different compared to everyone's video parts.
In comparison to the other video parts, it definitely held its own with the quality of tricks, the editing, the music. His last trick where he nollies over the gap and the wall is insane. Like, not many people could do that.
You can skateboard for as long as you want and be as creative as you want, but there's a certain amount of skateboarding you could do in your prime where you are almost ready to die for this.
My name's Cole Wilson, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. Back in Kentucky, I was just skating, like trying to film video parts, not trying to go pro or anything. I had no idea it would pan out like this. When I made the move to California, I'd say the quality of life got better. Consistent weather, skate every day. I was just generally happier once I moved out here. Being a pro skateboarder is great. Get to travel the world, meet amazing people, but yeah, I still have to work a job on the side, make ends meet. Most athletes out there, professional athletes, are multi-millionaires, and it's not really like that in skateboarding. This year for Real Street, pretty much doing it the same way we did it last year, just trying to keep it as organic as possible. It'd be really cool to win twice, but just like last year, I don't expect to. I think the reason we won is Don. He gave it life. If it wasn't for Don, none of this would be a thing. Wouldn't be possible.
I think the main attribute to us winning last year was Cole's amazing skating. The thing about what makes Cole gnarly, out of all the skaters that I've filmed over the years, is that he's kind of got cat-like reflexes, so he can get out of some crazy stuff that I've never seen people get out of, really. With that comes also one thing goes wrong and you're laying on the ground bleeding, which happened once for this contest.
Cole Wilson's a madman. He's full speed ahead at all times, skating, lifestyle, everything.
You can skateboard for as long as you want and be as creative as you want, but there's a certain amount of skateboarding you could do in your prime where you are almost ready to die for this.
He's definitely one of those dudes who has pushed skateboarding to that next level of really putting it on the line and going for it.
He kind of has that raw rock and roll skate style where it's kind of reckless.
He's risking his career every clip he gets.
Cole Wilson is someone that sees where the bar is set and takes it to that next level, and that takes a special type of person.
Cole has super heart, man. That's why he does it. He loves it, You're just in love with this lifestyle and skateboarding and the community and the opportunities and the freedom, and that's why you do it, Yeah, I just want to keep the dream alive. It's kind of not a permanent vacation, but it's kind of seven-day weekend. I wouldn't trade for anything. I'm Cole Wilson, and this is my X Games Real Street part.
The Cole Wilson part is bananas, just sitting on nose grinds like nobody's business, crooked grind popovers on curved rails, a frontside nose grind, frontside air up a handrail.
He came through with another really insane part with a lot of diversity, a lot of big stuff, and just things that nobody else really does.
He did a nose grind, nollie flip, a triple kink handrail, all right? Nobody can do that.
I mean, that is such a video game trick. It's just ridiculous.
He's got 2 tricks in here that almost nobody else could do. That, to me, is exciting, and that's why I'm gonna put him in the top 3.
This part could definitely take it. It was super good.
The filming was great, the editing was great. It really left you wanting more, and that's like what you should do in a video part.
Skateboarding was always my calling, you know? Never had anything else, never wanted anything else. I don't know much else, to be honest. Alrighty. My name is Chris Joslin. I'm from Hawaiian Gardens, California. Some wild stuff happens over there, I guess you could say, but I guess it's like if you grow up around it, it's what you're used to, I guess, so you kind of just get accustomed to it, you know? Our house had bars on the window, so I felt pretty safe at night, you know? It would have took a lot for somebody to get through those puppies. Yeah, I grew up with my grandma, grandpa, my mom. My dad passed away when I was 7. He always lived out in the desert though, or was in and out of jail, so I never met him. Still to this day, people, they think it's crazy that like I grew up my whole life without a dad, but in my eyes, it's like all I ever do. I think that's what also brought me so close to the skate park and skateboarding and wanting to do good at the skate park. I love the reaction I was getting from these people of like, wow, he's skating so good. That may sound kind of weird. It may sound like I was looking for attention, but in a way I was. I didn't have a dad, so I was missing that, you know? And that made me go look for it in other places, and at the skate park, I found it. So when I was about 14, I started getting into like situations where it could have affected where I ended up today. You go downhill, or the other one was uphill. And downhill, basically, you just lose it all, you know, for drugs and alcohol. And at 14, I didn't have much, and I didn't want to lose that little bit I had, you know? So I think it was like, nah, dude, you didn't make it yet. We chose uphill.
When I see Jocelyn skate, I know that there's a dark side. There's something that skateboarding does for him that he tunes out that dark side. You don't do some of the stuff that Jocelyn does without tapping into something bigger than what most people tap into.
Skateboarding is like a therapy, you know? It's a mental and physical therapy, and when you're focused on skateboarding, that's all you can focus on at the moment. You're like, can I get down this obstacle? You're there, you're present.
I recently had a daughter, and she has also changed my life, probably just as much as skateboarding. Definitely gives me more of a feeling of I need to be responsible. Put my skating second, to be honest with you, because even though I never had a father growing up, that just gave me all the more reason to be that father for her, you know what I mean? I don't love being a dad, I love being my daughter's dad. This is my 3rd time in Real Street. I got first place first year I was in it and got bronze last year, so hopefully I get lucky again this year. Last year, the judging, they wanted a little more variety in the video part, so I took that into consideration this year, and we got a well-rounded video part, I'd say. My filmer this year for Real Street is Devin Lopez again. It's definitely a lot better to have a friend doing it because win or lose, we're gonna skate together again after this contest. I'm more in competition with myself. I guess I want almost like to go back in time and like re-impress those judges now. It's like I wanna like show them like, hey, look, I got what you want. I'm Chris Joslin, and this is my X Games Real Street part.
Let me tell you, I've got no advice for Chris Joslin. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Chris Joslin, I mean, it was really amazing to see him take the judge's advice and switch it up. He really showed how gifted of a skater he is and how he can skate so many more things.
Chris Joslin definitely came through with another solid part, but maybe he took it a little too far with not putting enough of the big time hammers that could have taken him over the top a little bit.
It's hard for Chris Joslin because when you're flying that high, people are going to expect it to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But this year, he not only had the big flip tricks, he had manuals, he had ledge combos, he's doing all kinds of stuff in there. I'm putting Chris Joslin top 3 for sure.
No doubt this part floored me, and like, he has a great chance of winning. He, you know, took the advice of the judges, but also really delivered with that last trick.
So we watched all the videos. We're gonna crunch these numbers, assign these scores, hand these over to the geniuses in the crime lab, and get a winner.
I'm pretty blown away at like all the video parts. They all were definitely different. That's what's gonna make this really hard to judge.
After watching all the parts and taking into consideration all the stuff that went into the video parts, from the tricks, the never been done before tricks, the editing, the music, the graphics, here's how it breaks down. Third place, Chris Joslin. He came with the big drops, and he took our advice last year to not only have big drops, but to put in some diversity and different tricks. Chris Joslin showed that he could do it all.
In second place, 2-time Thrasher Skater of the Year, Chris Cole. That's right, the Barbarian's back.
He came through with a classic Chris Cole video part, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down a bit.
And then finally, in first, the Terror from Louisville, Kentucky. He don't go down the bars, he goes straight up. Cole Wilson, once more with the gold medal, Cole. You did it.
He's got the flip tricks, he's got the stairs, he's got the rails.
I mean, his last trick, I would have been fine with just the nose grind, and he nollie flipped out. That really, you know, pushed him, you know, to the top.
He just had the total package again, knew exactly what needed to be done, and he came and did it.
Get away. Are you serious? You're back.
Oh,
wait,
no.
what? What? You're kidding me, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.